Hey guys, it's Christine, also known as IvyWinter. Thank you for joining me for another Disney video. Filming on my slightly swollen, slightly messed up oral surgery post-op face. That was way too many words. I apologize if I come across not as super clear as I normally do, but I will do my best to not sound terrible. So today's topic is an interesting one. I was sitting down really thinking that despite all the times I've been to Disney, and I want to say it's about 20, it might be more now, I kind of lost count, there are a lot of things I just never do or almost never do, and I just always skip these things, whether it's attractions or certain services or whatever it might be. There are things that I, for myself, just don't find worth it. And I wanted to make this video because I'm also interested in what other people always skip. But I think it's also important to know that, you know, you don't have to do everything at Disney or enjoy everything at Disney, and not everything is going to make sense for you as a traveler to Disney. Everyone has different interests, different needs. So these are 5 things that I skip every time or almost every single time I go to Disney World. Number 1 is the dining plan. I've never ever used it. Not when it was free, not when it was paid. Didn't make sense for me as one person. Even when I was traveling with my then boyfriend, now husband, it didn't really make sense for us. I have never ever used the dining plan, which is why when a lot of you guys ask me questions about it, I'm just like, I gotta go to Google because I don't really know it very well because I've never used it. I do understand the different tiers of dining plans, how many credits you can get per like quick service, table service, all of that. When I've looked into it, it's always been more money than I actually spend on food and has never quite been what I want. Like, there's a lot of snack credits that I know that would be left over because I don't eat that many snacks, but I would want something with more table service. But I think that the full price for the higher tier is just like not worth it, and also they're tied to certain resorts. It just becomes this complicated thing that, like, I don't know, I'd rather just spend the money on where I'm gonna eat and just know how much I'm spending on that. So it's never really been worth it to me when I've crunched the numbers, so I've just never done it. Number 2 is Storybook Circus. I bypass that area all the time. I'm pretty sure I've been there twice. Once was to meet Donald in his like magician outfit, which was great. I have a great photo of him with that. And I think the last time was actually when I live streamed on my last trip, and I walked with you guys the path from Tomorrowland to there because it was so quiet. But that was like the only reason why I was even over there. You know, Storybook Circus, not for me. I don't have kids. It doesn't really appeal to me in terms of what is there. I'm not a big fan of the theming or design, but I get it for families and younger kids who want to ride Barnstormer and meet the characters and all of that stuff. But generally, I don't ever even walk through there. I'm usually going right by, walking by teacups, and never actually going into Storybook Circus. Number 3 is the movies in Epcot in each of the countries. And I only recently went to a few of them on Rob's nagging insistence that I check out some of these because he hadn't in years. And so we did, and you know what, guys, I'm good. I think they're fine, but they're very old and very dated, and some of them are kind of long. Like the Canada one, I think, is like 20 minutes, and you're standing there for like 20 minutes. I don't know. It's not the most enjoyable experience to me. I'd rather be sitting with some food and people watching. That's just me personally. I think of the ones there, my favorite, if I had to pick a favorite, is France, but again, it just needs updating. Everything feels really old. I would love new footage of all of these places, and then maybe you can get me in the doors again. But until that happens, I will be gladly skipping those videos. Number 4 is using Magical Express's luggage service. I am a carry-on person. I am that way with every trip I ever take unless I'm absolutely forced to check a bag in, which for my honeymoon I was. We were gone for 2 weeks. I needed to bring a big bag and check it in. There was nothing I could really do. But if I can live out of a carry-on for as long as possible, I will do it. I'm one of those people who like doesn't like people handling my baggage. I don't like it being checked in. I get worried it's not gonna show up where I'm going. Like, I'm worried they're gonna throw my luggage around, something's gonna get messed up. I just like to have my bag with me. I like to have everything I need with me. So I am always going to Disney with a carry-on. Even when I did my 8-day trip, I had a carry-on, I just packed lightly. I might have even done some laundry, and I prefer that. And so I've never had to actually use the yellow tags they send you, because that's for if you're checking in luggage, they will go and pick it up and bring it to your room. I've also never used it, not only because I just use a carry-on, but I've heard meh things about the service. A lot of people, especially on late flights, have complained that their luggage won't show up in time until 2 in the morning, and all they want is that change of clothes or their toiletries that they packed in there. So my advice for you there is put everything in your carry-on that you're gonna need for a day. At least like a change of clothes, whatever, because that could very well happen, especially if you fly in really late. But there's been people even who have had afternoon flights and their luggage just seems to take forever to show up. So again, I don't like leaving my stuff up to fate. I just don't like other people handling my stuff. So I have never ever used their checked-in luggage service. I've always just carried it on and put it under the bus, and that's been it. Which a lot of you guys know if you listen to the TTA podcast is I've never ever been to the water parks, not once. I am not much of a swimmer, guys. I admit this. 31 years old, can keep myself afloat. Never really was like a big swimmer, so there's that. And then also just the fact of like, I don't know, sometimes I'd rather spend that time in the parks. But I do know that I'm kind of missing out on some fun stuff, and I know you know, you don't have to be a big swimmer to enjoy a water park and go down a slide into a shallow pool. So, you know, I do want to go, and I keep telling myself every time that I'm gonna build in a day or a half day to go, but I never do it. So I think I'm just kidding myself that I want to go to the water parks, and I really don't, and I just have to accept that. Like, I just have to accept that. But in all my years, kid all the way up to now as an adult, never ever been to the water parks, which I guess is kind of crazy, but it's true. So those are 5 things that I pretty much never do when I'm at Disney World, and I would love to know what yours are. I think there's always something, a ride, like I said, a service. Maybe it's a restaurant you've never gone into and you say you're going to and you just never get to it. I would love to know in the comments below, what are the things that you just never do at Disney World despite how many times you may have been there. If you like this video, then like it. If you like me, you should subscribe because I'm making videos every single week, and I will be nice and healed by the end of this week, so those videos are gonna be much better. Thank you, as always, for spending some time with me. I super appreciate it, and have a great rest of the day. Bye.